Phil, your days are done. We know that you've been committing tax fraud, and we are going to get you. Ha ha ha. The memberships, maybe a tip, all that would help a ton over on that channel as well. Okay? So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to sit here and harp about it. Maybe every once in a while during my streams today I'll bring it up again, but I just want to get it out of the way. This is literally how I do business. That's not begging. That's business. This is not me. This is when you see all those misrepresentations of, oh, Phil is just constantly bringing this up. No, I'm not. It's a complete lie. What they do is they take the few moments that I do bring it up and they make a montage of it and act like, because I brought it up 5 times over the course of 8 to 10 hours of streaming, that's like all I did that day, which is a complete and utter lie and misrepresentation for scumbag purposes. You know.
That's 100% a lie.
Okay. Oh, see, Chakak says, you'd be dumb not to bring it up on a consistent basis. How is that a bad thing? It's a business. Because you have to understand, not everyone who does my content like me is considered a lol cow who gets harassed by people constantly to try to get a rise. So here's the thing. If you haven't noticed, in the last few years, when people say bad things about me, I ignore them. I don't pay attention to it. At all. I don't address it. I don't particularly bring it up. So what's happened is now they have to go out of their way to lie to say bad things about me. Because they don't get the reaction from me anymore. So they have to create slander in order to get any kind of attention on their content. So since I'm not going to specifically address anything anyone says about me that's negative, they will instead make montages that are completely misrepresentative and things like that. You know what I'm saying? They do it all the time. I mean, it's every day. I hear about it every day. I don't see it because I don't pay attention to it. But you're right. You know, today, what did I do? And beg for money. I did one plug segment. Probably by the end of this stream, this podcast, I'll say it one more time. I'll probably bring it up when we get to the React channel because there may be a new audience there. And probably every once in a while, I'll bring up how to suggest, supporting that channel. Tonight on Starfield, I'll probably bring it up once or twice. So yeah, over the course of me streaming from 10:45 a.m. to, past 9 p.m. at night, so you're talking, if you add that up, it's probably 8 to 10 hours of straight streaming. I'll probably bring it up 5 to 7 times, and it'll all be maybe 30-second mentions, right? Which I feel is pretty darn reasonable, okay? But that's not what they'll say. Instead, they'll just edit all that together and be like, haha, this is all he does all day. Did you not see the other 10 hours of content? No, they did, but they don't care. So, no lie, is what I mean. I ignore all their bullshit. I ignore their nonsense. I'm not going to address it. I don't take the bait. That's why they really don't like me anymore. Because remember, they used to say that I was a lol cow, that I would take the bait all the time, and I would constantly be bringing it up. I would actually bring up, here's what they said about me, and I'd show it on stream, and this is bullshit because of this. I don't do that anymore. I don't care.
Do you really believe that?
Someone tipped $2.01. Says, I don't get why it isn't okay to have advertisements on stream for money, but it's okay to ask for contributions for money. It's okay to do things for money. I work my job for money. Yeah, I do too. I don't know. That's just too confusing. If one day you want to have an open conversation about it, I guess we'll have it, but I'm not going to sit here and argue the difference between crowdfunding free content because you like it and you want to see it to continue versus someone who is literally creating content to sell you something so that they can pay or so they can make money to line their pockets. Do you understand the difference? It's very different. It is. It's just very different. Listen, if you want to be advertised to, you can go to TV or you can go to any of the shows on the internet. I mean, even the things you pay for, like Netflix, Amazon Video, they're all got ads now. All of them. It's all just ads everywhere, right? You can go watch as many advertisements as you like. I would think that it would be refreshing that there's someone who makes content for you that doesn't want you to be advertised to all day. No? No? I would think so, right? It's a necessary evil to have ads on content. If I could have no ads on anything, no ads on the streams, no ads on my videos, of course I would do that. I don't have enough, viewership to do that. I just don't. I need to have some of that. It is supplemental. If I could turn it off, I would. I don't like ads just like you, But if I can avoid being a shill and pushing crap down your throat that, you don't care about, I will. It's sad, you go to watch something, like for example, I sometimes try to drop in and watch content creators who previously I used to watch, okay? So for example, every once in a while, I'll watch The Angry Video Game Nerd. Oh, this is brought to you by NordVPN. Oh, this is brought to you by DoorDash. This is brought to you by this meal subscription service. This is brought to you by some cryptocurrency. This is brought to you by blah, blah, blah. And you watch it and you're like, you know that these guys don't use this stuff. This is not like a testimonial. This is not like, oh, you know, this is good stuff that they stand by, right? And they believe in. This is just, I'm going to take payment to shill a product that I don't care about and never will use, but it's just something that I want to push for money. The shout outs. There's one final thing I will say. It's a running thing that I've been saying for many years. I'll say it again this morning, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, money talks. Money
What do I do?
talks. And it's intrusive to the video. It's incredibly annoying, right? Now listen. These guys have much bigger viewership than me, even to this day. They have way more viewers, way more attention on their content than I do, right? So when they do those ads, they got eyes on them. So they probably make a pretty big paycheck just for pumping out that product placement or whatever it is, right? They probably make a pretty penny doing it. So by doing that, they don't have to have pressure on them about how the performance is on a particular video or whatever, because they got paid just for making it, right? But the quality and the feeling of it being genuine is completely left at the door when it's a shilled product placement. I'm sorry, it just is. For me, anyway, that's my personal feeling. It's like when I watch that, I'm like, I hate this video now. Like, even if the video is good and the content is good and it's funny, the fact that you had to watch this fake product placement. There's enough fake shit on earth. We don't need to have people who used to be genuine on the internet doing this for passion and for fun to now, I made a video today to push NordVPN. Oh, by the way, there's also something in that video you might enjoy, but please get NordVPN, you know? I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? No. Sorry. I'm not doing that. It's not, if I would rather quit making content entirely than sell out like that and become a fucking shill, a paid character who has to watch what he does. Oh, watch what I say and do. I can't be genuine with my audience, right? Because I have this sponsorship that I'm dealing with, right? It's ridiculous. I can't stand it. I just cannot stand it, you know? So that's the deal. And that's the thing, with the hate element out there that I have, that if I were to get sponsorships, which I get offered all the time, no exaggeration.
You liar, you.
I'm good at lying. I definitely get offered this product to put this product placement and stuff like that, right? But again, what would happen is I would get those sponsorships, right? And I would probably have them for a bit. And then what would happen is, as you know, trolls would then go and probably do the same hate campaigns that they did over 2 years ago against me. You know, remember they got me kicked out of the Twitch partner program for literally doing nothing. I didn't do anything on my stream to get me kicked out. They just deemed that things I had done in the past weren't worthy of being in the partner program, despite the fact I'd been in the partner program for how many years. They suddenly changed their opinion overnight with no evidence of any wrongdoing and not saying I did anything wrong. You're just out of the partner program, right? They kicked me out of Teespring. Teespring invited me to their business in 2017. They designed my original clothing line for me. I didn't even do it. They designed it and put the products up for me. They knew who I was. They were okay with all the stuff that I had done in the past. And then 3-4 years later, we just decided overnight that we don't want you on the site anymore. We're closing your shop and you're gone. And it's like, huh? But that's how these companies are. So why on earth, right, would I go out of my way, change my content in a way that I don't want it to change, that I would become a paid shill, and I'd have to be so careful, about what I say and do in my content that I don't upset someone to be dropped from a sponsor, just so that my trolls would go ahead and hate watch all my content, nitpick things I say and do, create these unfair montages that aren't representative of who I am as a person, and or use things from 10 plus years ago that I don't do anymore and act like that's who I am today to try to get me kicked out of those sponsorships. You would be opening the biggest can of worms, right? Doing something like, it's just not worth it. Not only would I have to change everything that I do for these promos, these products, all this stuff, but then there's just potential for so much harassment and things. It's just, I'm better off being completely independent. Right. And, if it's a stream where contributions are low, I'll say something like, it's a slow stream tonight. Not that anyone has to do anything about that, but I just make factual observations, But people want to say stuff like, oh, he begs, whatever. If you think that everyone who streams and is trying to actually make a living streaming is a beggar, go ahead and say it then. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm successful at it, so I don't give a shit. Okay? Okay. I really am. Someone like me, in this situation I'm in, with the amount of harassment I get, that's the best option, is to stay indie and to be my own man and to do my own thing and to keep that crap out of my content, be true to my audience, and that my audience will reciprocate and support the content, right? In fact, being honest here, I feel like if I were to change, like if I were forced into a situation where I have to take these offers, right? And I start taking them, I guarantee you there would be people who would turn on me and be like, so you were always against that, but now you're doing it. I'm like, well, it's a necessary evil, right? Well, forget it, right? And they're not going to watch and they're not going to support, because that's what I mean. Like, they've been around for a while. They see what I stand for. And honestly, I'm one of the people that have been a holdout. You know what I mean? Like, again, all my contemporaries on YouTube, if you haven't seen it, they've all started doing this. This is just a common thing. Because remember, years ago, people said stuff to me like, don't ever do that stuff. It's terrible. Now everyone does it, and it's like it's commonly accepted. It's just common that you go on a YouTuber's channel or on a stream, and there's all these product placements and offers and promotions and referral codes and all that. It's just a common practice now, right? Didn't used to be. Really, it was the opposite. It was the rare thing when someone would do that. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, well, everyone just does it. This is how people make their money. They take the bag and they run with it. So that's fine. It's accepted. Well, what happened? So I didn't change. I'm the holdout. They all change, but that's okay because it's them. But if I had done it, again, because I'm held to an unfair standard being a lol cow on the internet. So if I changed to do the same thing everyone else did, I'm the hypocrite. I'm the one who's, it's not fair. Right? How dare you? And everyone turn on me. And then you would see I guarantee you'd see all these video montages. DSP, the complete hypocrite. Here's the history of how all the years he said he didn't want to do it, and now he's doing it, right? So right now people say, so you talk too much about crowdfunding. Don't do it as much. Well, if I don't do it as much, then I don't make a living. Okay? Well, then don't do the crowdfunding. Instead, do the advertisements, the product placements, the shilling. Okay, I'll do that. So I'll add it. Oh, DSP, the hypocrite. Now he's shilling after all these years he said he wouldn't. Do you understand? So I'm just going to be true to myself in reality. And this is the ultimate truth of the situation, is that in life, okay, there's only one person who is the authority on you, and there is only one person who you actually have to answer to, and that's you and yourself. Oh, that's it, right? Who gives a shit what anyone else outside says? There's so much white noise out there in life, in the world. People saying and doing, whispering behind your back and publicly saying nasty things. Who cares what people say? Just be true to you. As long as you feel like what you're doing is the right thing to do, and you feel like you're doing something positive, right? And, then that's fine. And, that's how you go through life. And that's my philosophy is, my goal is to every day come here and make positive content for all of you. Make a living without hurting people, right? That's really the goal. I want to make a living without having to hurt others. I don't want to get ahead by stomping on people below me and pushing forward. I just want to be with all of you having a good time, enjoying games, chilling, having fun. That's what it's all about. You see? I could have done that years and years ago. I could have been one of these slam YouTubers, drama content creators. There was epic amounts of opportunity to do that. And I totally opted out of that. I said, nah, I'm just going to be true to myself. I'm going to play the games. I'm going to have fun. We're going to do this, right? That's what I've always wanted. And maybe it's because of the way I was raised. As I'm getting older now, I'm starting to realize that even though I'm not a religious guy by any means, that having that upbringing, having this moral compass, right? I find myself going back to it more and more now that I'm older. When I was younger, I was rebellious. Oh, rage against everything, do whatever you want. But as I get older, I find myself going back to those tenets, those core tenets, those beliefs of, do unto others, right? As you would have them do unto you. Don't just hurt others. True success is not success by any means. It's success where you can be successful, but you don't have to hurt others to be successful, right? That's the kind of stuff that I abide by. And so, I follow all this stuff, and a lot of people give me shit for it. Well, why do you have these principles? Don't you understand they're hurting you or whatever? Well, you may say that, but here I am 15 years in, and I'm still here, right? And my content isn't full of shilling ads and crap, and I'm still able to get by. And yeah, there are some days that are slower days, and I mention it, and there's some days that are great days, and then I don't mention it at all, right? So, what's the big deal? As long as we're all having a good time and enjoying the stuff I put out, then why does anyone give a crap, and why is anyone criticizing, right? Because they want a reaction. They think that sitting there and misrepresenting and being gross and being toxic is going to get a reaction. It's not. I don't care. I will be here. I will be here on streaming, every day that I choose to, until I choose to no longer stream. I will make videos for YouTube every day that I choose to, until I choose to no longer make videos for YouTube. Do you understand? I'm not going anywhere. I've been here for 15 years, and I will continue to be here for as long as I so choose. And then the day that I choose to retire, I will retire. Nothing anyone says, does, or anything is going to change that. They can't. They've tried. They've failed. Nothing's going to change it. Okay? So, there you have it. That's my philosophy. So when you ask me all these questions about this stuff, there you are. And the funny part is then you get a troll, like for example, this person did a super chat and says, I'd rather watch an ad than be asked to donate. You just donated. You just donated. I didn't ask you to, you just did. So you just literally did the biggest hypocritical thing you possibly could have done. Right? You're full of crap. And that's the truth. No, most people would rather willingly contribute to something they like than be forced to do something they don't want to do. That's the truth. Take the paycheck, take the bag, be a fucking loser shill, and have no credibility whatsoever to anything you say or do. So, I've already said this before. Like today, I could, right now, go outside and walking down the street, I could stop a robbery. Like an old woman could be getting held up, and I could run up and punch the dude right in the face, just knock him the fuck out, and throw him down the street. Save the woman, right? Then, I could turn around, and a car accident happens, and I pull a person out of the car that's on fire, and I save their life, all right? And then all of a sudden, the earth opens up, right? And people are about to fall down this big pit in the ground, and I start pulling people away from the edge. Oh, get back, everyone. Get to safety, right? And then aliens could come down out of the fucking sky, open their doors like, we are invading. And I could run up and say, fuck you, and kick the alien right in his alien genitals and throw him back into the spaceship, infecting him with some kind of deadly disease, all right? And then they all die, and I saved the entire planet. It was like pigs were flying over my house, volcanoes were erupting, the sky had fallen, hell had become an ice cube. I couldn't fucking believe it. From this situation, I saved everyone. All right? And what would happen? Those people who don't like me would literally go on their stream and be like, were you aware that when Phil was doing that, a napkin fell out of his pocket and he littered? And all they would do in the entire video is talk about how Darkside Phil litters. That's it. They would ignore everything else that happened that day. None of that matters. That's how those people are.